Hey everyone, welcome to the channel for another Escape From Tarkov video. In this one, I'm going over my #1 most used high tier interchange loot run, which focuses exclusively on quickly hitting the most valuable loot spots on the map, and then making a swift extraction from the secret safe room in the parking garage. If you've seen my gameplay videos lately, you'll notice I've been playing a ton of Interchange, and for good reason. Besides being a very fun PvP map, Interchange holds some extremely valuable loot, and the most valuable of that loot is securely locked away behind doors that need both a key and active power on the map to open. In this video, I'll be going over my strategy as a solo player to secure that loot, get the rooms open, and get out alive. It can be tricky, but when it pays off big, and on a perfect run, you can make millions and be extracted both safely and quickly. To start off, I'll quickly go over the locations that I aim to hit on my interchange runs, how I enter the mall from different spawns, and then shift into things like identifying when the power's turned on, the importance of the alarm switch, and my final route to grab the loot and extract safely. Keep in mind that this guide is focused exclusively on hitting these areas, meaning this guide is meant for people with the keys, and if you want a guide on all the loot that you don't need keys for on interchange, I've got a few of those already, which I can link down below. First off, the quick and dirty breakdown of my loot priority for interchange on this particular run is to hit the major locked rooms. First is the ultra medical storage room, which is on the top floor above Oli near Tech Light and is one of the best places in the game to find LEDX. You'll need the ultra medical storage key for this room. The Kiba Store, which is central on the ground floor, is another key loot spawn that spawns tons of guns and incredibly valuable attachments, which can fetch a high price on the flea market. You'll need the Kiba 1 and Kiba 2 keys to get into this room. Finally, the object number 11 SR room closes the route out, which is both a loot zone and an extraction point, so you don't have to deal with the campers at the main extractions. This room is located in the parking garage near the broken floor, and you need to swipe the object 11 SR keycard in the toilet of the men's room in Burger Spot on the top floor to open this door. These areas all require unique keys, as well as the power switch in the power station to be flipped on before you can get into them. This makes it kind of tricky because if you flip the power, then they're often looted before you enter the mall, and if you don't flip the power, then you can't get into them at all. This creates a cool dynamic in my opinion, because you need to either bank on another player hitting the power switch, or you need to clear the entire mall of players before flipping the switch yourself. Alternatively, if you play as a team, you can split up and have one guy hit the power switch when you get close to the loot rooms. A pro tip here is that you can actually tell if the power is on at any time in the raid by simply double tapping the O key to bring up the extractions. If the safe room extraction is either green or red in color, that means the power is on and you need to get yourself moving. You can also hear the breaker flip on while you're inside the mall, and the lights will turn on, plus the kids' rides will light up and start making noises. Make sure you know where these locations are, and if you don't, maybe load into an offline raid and familiarize yourself with the map. Next, I want to quickly go over my strategy off spawn on interchange, and to put it bluntly, I just mash sprint as soon as I enter the raid in order to get into the mall as quickly as possible. My end goal off of any spawn on interchange is to get to the top floor as soon as possible and to turn off the alarm switch in the Goshan security office. From the parking lot spawns, you want to cross the lot as quickly as possible to avoid being caught out by a sniper. From the Oli side, I generally aim straight for an opening in the parking garage and then cut left towards the broken floor. In this area, you can find an escalator which goes up beside Oli, and you can either run straight and right up the next escalator to the medical storage room if the power is on, or you can double back towards the Goshan offices and the back stairwell. If you spawn on the Idea side, cut into the parking garage near Idea, go up the escalator into Idea, and then up a second escalator near the Trend clothing store, which will take you up to the top floor. From the backside of the mall, if you spawn near the Oli or Goshan loading ramps, you can go straight up the ramps and into the back loading bay of Goshan. Then cut left into the store and hug the wall until you see the doors leading to the Goshan offices and the back stairwell. You can also run into the parking garage near the fuel trucks on the road and find this slightly hidden way up into the backside of Goshan, which can be faster and safer than taking the ramp at some points. Then just follow the same route into the office and up the back stairwell. Finally, the power station spawn is kind of tricky since you need to decide whether to hit the power early and stir things up, or leave it off until you secure the mall and prevent other players from stealing your loot rooms. In any case, from here you want to run up the ramp and head along the backside until you reach the Goshan Superstore. Once again, follow the route to the back office and the stairwell leading up to the top floor. You might notice that most of my routes take me to this same office near Goshan, which I call the security office because it houses the main alarm switch, which turns off all the alarms caused by the power switch, including the extremely loud alarm in the Kiba Store. This switch can be flipped even before the power's on, and in my opinion, it's critical to get this switch flipped as soon as you can, or at the very least before you make the push to Kiba and to extraction. This alarm tells all other players that the power is on, which is a signal for everyone on the map to push these loot rooms. In addition, the alarms make it harder to hear other players' footsteps around you, and in the case of the Kiba alarm, it lets everyone know that you just opened the door and you're ready to be ambushed. By turning the alarm off, you buy yourself a few minutes before other players realize the power is active, and you make it much easier to loot Kiba without everyone knowing exactly where you are. This is very important, and it actually blows my mind how many people completely ignore the alarm switch or don't even know where it is. There is a second alarm switch on the top floor at the back of the center hallway, but this one does not disable the Kiba alarm, so it's not really that important in my opinion. The other thing that all my routes share is that they prioritize top floor control early in the raid because it's undoubtedly the most powerful position on the map. From the top floor, you have angles on all the important parts of the map. You can escape other players easily once you learn the layout, and there are stairs down into the main level that you can use to move around the map safely. Personally, I try not to be caught on the main floor until I've done a full 360 sweep of the top floor, which lets you pinpoint any players and scabs making noise and hopefully ambush them from above before they become a problem. You don't need to take my exact routes, but if you prioritize getting the alarm off and controlling the top level right off a spawn, you'll be off to a much better start than any player who's just wandering around the bottom floor exposed and with little cover. Now that you hopefully have a good idea of where to go and what to do from a fresh spawn, I'll talk about the flow of my average interchange raid and how I string all three of these high tier loot spots into one quick path that ends in a safe extraction. Off spawn, I use one of my routes to get myself to the Goshan security office, hit the alarm panel, and make my way upstairs. The next steps really depend on whether the power is on or if it's been left off by the players that spawn there. If the power is on when you're coming up to the top floor, you can make a straight shot to the ultra medical storage room and try to loot it before anyone else gets there. This is risky, but if you're fast, you can most definitely get in and out before anyone else gets there. If the power's off, then as I mentioned earlier, I'll do a full 360 sweep of the top floor and use the angles to check the main floor wherever possible. This will usually result in taking down multiple scavs and some players, which makes everything else much easier once it's secure. After this, if you're still alive and not full up on PvP loot, you can head out to turn the power on yourself, or more commonly, someone else will have the same idea and will hit the power for you. Once the power's on, if you have the top floor secured, then you can string all three of these loot spots together in one quick run, starting with ultra medical storage. After you clear this room, run back towards urban clothes and head left, then through the clothing store and past the glass railing area. This spot overlooks the Kiba Store, so it's a good idea to quickly use this angle to see if anyone is creeping around in the hallway down below. From here, run through the Daddy James pizza shop and across the central area to the burger spot, where you'll swipe the card in the men's room. Next, run back to the central area, peek the Kiba angle again from the other side to see if anyone's hiding nearby, and then run down the escalator to loot the Kiba Store. From here, if you're still secure, the way out is very easy. All you need to do is hang left out of the Kiba Store, go down the hole in the floor, head left again, and you'll come to the number 11 safe room. This room has plenty of loot in it once it's opened, and when you hit the keypad near the door, you'll extract in just 3 seconds. That basically completes my ultimate interchange loot run. It's almost never as simple as I just made it sound, but once you get the hang of it, you can rack up some insane profits in quick back-to-back raids by sweeping the top floor, getting the power on, and then quickly hitting these 3 loot zones which end in a quick extraction. It'll take some time to get the hang of where people tend to camp on the top floor, but this route has the goal of using those few minutes when the power's on and the alarm is off to grab the loot before people even realize that they can get into the rooms. Ideally, by the time they even make it to the medical storage room, you're safely looting Kiba and about to leave through the secret extraction. It's not always that easy, but when things go well, you can make multiple millions in a 10-minute run. In any case, let me know what you think, and if you try out the run, let me know how it goes for you. I sincerely hope you can get a couple LEDX with this run and fund your Tarkov adventures for many raids. Thanks for checking out the video. I've got links to my Twitch stream, Discord server, and Patreon page down below for anyone interested. And until next time, stay safe in Tarkov City.